It has been a few years ago, around 2011 and 2012, since I started commentaries. I went from doing one-shots to doing my first solo full-length commentary by a pop singer in jeans to doing other things. Now it's 2020, which means that not only am I kind of out of hiatus, but also the Boondocks series is getting a reboot this year. So anyway, might as well take a look at my target. The person in question is Blaze the movie fan, a person from Iceland known for his movie reviews being relative to the commentary community, his video thoughts, and known for a video that we do not wish to discuss out of due respect. He did a video thoughts on a fellow YouTuber named Th3Birdman on one of his Everything Wrong with CinemaSins episodes, in particular, Joker. No, not that Joker. Not that one either, since Riley likes that one better. Yeah, that one. Blaze stated, and I quote,
"And even though I do think it's a good video, I have several issues with it, which I will be addressing in this video."
So I am here to refute the problems and more that he has on this video thoughts by using a few videos of my own. Anyway, let's begin.
My name is Colonel H. Motherfucking Mina, and this time I'm rolling deep, Nyoko.
You know, a retro logo loses its effect when a Warner Media plug shows up at the bottom of the screen.
You know what? I'm going to ignore this BS and throw you a bone for once. I'm proud of you for promptly getting to a movie the audience actually wants to see and doing it in January, the worst month for YouTubers.
Okay, I'm so sick of this horse shit. January is not the worst month for movies. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that. Sure, there are some bad movies released in January, I won't argue with that. However, bad movies are released literally every fucking day of the month. As a matter of fact, the worst movies of the year are usually released either during the summer or close to the Christmas season.
His first interjection that we already have a problem with is mispronunciation with words. First of all, Blaze, I know I already mentioned this in the comments section, so I might as well go deeper into it. Birdman did not say, quote-unquote, worst month for movies. He said, quote-unquote, January being the worst month for YouTubers, as in around October to December being the busiest holiday of the month, such as Halloween, Thanksgiving, Kwanzaa, yeah, I said, don't at me, and Christmas. Just like we retailers, YouTubers are not making enough money using ad revenues.
Put it in its simplest terms, everybody spends more money at Christmas, including advertisers. That means there is more ad space to sell on YouTube, and it's more competitive, driving up the auction price of each advertisement placed on YouTube. But once all of those tentpole events come to an end, such as Halloween, Thanksgiving, Black Friday and Christmas, you find yourself in the post-holiday slump. When you combine that with the end of a quarter and the end of a year, budgets are radically different when we move into January. There's just not that demand for purchasing advertisements. So this isn't your fault. This isn't YouTube's fault. It is simply economics, supply and demand that fluctuates throughout the year.
In fact, if you pay close attention to the video without cutting him off mid-sentence, you would have heard him say this.
Please donate to my Patreon, guys. I'm fucking dying.
Watch how you edit your video and listen to what he says, Blaze. It's not looking good here.
Not that long to smell it, but I think to look at it, it's terrible.
It's rare for a movie to include critical reviews about itself anywhere, much less at the very beginning.
Insinuating that Joker is terrible. That's worth these many sins.
I mean, even if he is implying that the movie is bad, who fucking cares? It's just his opinion.
I can agree that the movie was not Jeremy Scott's cup of tea, but can you please bring in details like a Reddit page you can easily pull up on Google? One can argue that Joker to you might be overrated since you did a review on it.
I think this is a great movie, but I'm gonna have to be honest, it's very overrated. So many people are saying that this movie is such a masterpiece, which I couldn't disagree with more. Yeah, it's a great movie, but it's nowhere near a masterpiece.
Point is, you have watched a lot of reviewers on YouTube that review Joker movies that either praise it for its R rating, language, funny lines, and violence, not to mention Robert De Niro, and others being mediocre. Let's not forget, Joaquin Phoenix actually won several awards on that one movie, such as Academy Award for Best Actor, Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance, Critics' Choice Movie Award for Best Actor, and BAFTA Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role.
Take 5.
So the next time you say gay to refer to something gay, don't. It's not cool.
Cut!
I'm sorry.
All throughout this movie, the clocks read 11:11. Is this movie a continuation of Us? Does Arthur have a doppelganger? Is he the doppelganger? Anyway, reading some stuff on the internet says the number 11 can mean anxious, shy, stressed, conflicted, scattered, which seems to fit symbolically. Anyway, all the clocks being 11:11 is a f***ing sin.
It isn't all the clocks, because later in the movie you point out that there are clocks in the movie that aren't 11:11.
Here is a clock that is not 11:11 right here on the Murray Franklin Show.
Alright, I will admit this was bad wording on his part. He should have said most, not all. So I will give you that. CinemaSins was wrong here. But let's say for the sake of argument that he did say most instead of all. What would your sin have been then?
What's really going to make your noodle is when I tell you that if you pay attention to analog clocks in advertisements, they almost always display 10:10. Go on, check.
What the hell is the relevance? I mean seriously, CinemaSins wasn't talking about clocks that go 10:10. He was talking about clocks that go 11:11, which is completely different.
The first part you said was true, but you missed the second part where Jeremy of CinemaSins was explaining or theorizing that the clocks are 11:11 on number 11 means anxiety, shy, and scattered, etc. This is Birdman responding and explaining the point that the clocks are always advertised as 10:10. You could make a point about where he got the information, such as the first line. When we look at the watch at 10:10, we consider it as if the watch was smiling. It is lovely to have a smiling face rather than have a crying face, where the time is at 8:20. So in the form of the hands have a positive effect on the view. Otherwise, if you Google long and hard enough, you can get this info. So yes, Birdman did know what he was talking about, the difference in the clock between 11:11 and 10:10.
Can you please stop bothering my kid?
While everyone compares Joker to a bunch of Scorsese movies, the one it really takes after is I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore, in which every person Melanie Linsky runs into is an asshole, or dildos, or faces.
Even if that were true, that movie is also pretty damn good. So Jeremy sends something he likes cliche.
Okay, how do you know that he personally likes this movie? You're just saying that you like it. And since you didn't prove it, I'm not so convinced that he shares your opinion. So really, I think you should have said, Jeremy sends something that I like. That would have been more accurate.
Number 1. You are aware that the Birdman is still a fan of CinemaSins, correct? You even did a video by it on your channel, so it is important that he follows and knows what's going on. I will dive into further detail later in the video. And number 2, you completely missed the mark on what they both were talking about. Jeremy was talking about the movie on Netflix called I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore, starring Melanie Linsky and Elijah Wood. And after doing a Google search, there is a movie poster I found on Wikipedia. So when Birdman said,
even if that were true, that movie is also pretty damn good.
That movie is referring to the movie Jeremy's comparing the Joker to. Therefore, Jeremy sends something he likes cliche is completely accurate, because if we were what you stated, he would like what Jeremy likes, such as his Everything Wrong with CinemaSins Alita video, otherwise known as the Birdman sends something he likes cliche.
Yeah!
No.
It sounds like either a strawman argument you made, or you were selling us a red herring. For that, I will pass.
Take 5.
So the next time you say gay to refer to something gay, don't. It's not cool.
Cut!
I'm sorry.
Arthur Fleck dreams about being an audience member called down to the stage on his favorite talk show. Meanwhile, I dream about ninja cows trying to steal my kidneys.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It's obvious what CinemaSins meant. He was clearly referring to what he dreams about. How the hell can you miss that? Maybe you think this is a bad joke. Which, to be fair, is alright, you're entitled to your opinion. But you can't ask what he is talking about when it's clear as day. You know what that means? That means that the media clip you used here is completely pointless.
What's pointless about using a media clip that was a not so great joke about ninja cows and kidneys? That sort of thing made me laugh after watching this video multiple times. Maybe you don't understand humor as much as the next guy, and besides that you did a video on it. But you could argue, what's not funny about what Jeremy just said? Unfortunately, you did not bring this up, and trust me, after seeing this video a few times, that is true.
Now you did use the skip gag earlier on in the video, in clips which I skipped. Someone asked, why the hell didn't you use that gag here? It would make all the sense in the world.
Probably he thought to make a joke that went over your head faster than the flying guillotine. Rest in peace, Bushido Brown. And when you said in the clip that I skipped, you should at least try to clarify which clip you mean, like a timestamp or play back a skipped clip from the video. At least the audience confused and question what that said clip is, so that way your audience won't spend time like minutes or hours finding the damn thing. Thankfully, I found it for them.
Kind of a nice touch they made Robert De Niro the Jerry Lewis character in this King of Comedy remake.
Jeremy sends something he likes cliche.
So everybody's heard about the super rats that are in Gotham now, right?
Look, Robert De Niro is a legend, and we're lucky to have him, but he is super awkward at comedy. And I can't imagine someone like him or the character he's playing ever getting a late-night talk show.
Robert De Niro is awkward at comedy? Apparently, Jeremy has never heard of Analyze This and Meet the Parents.
I mean, sure you posted the original video in the description and another one which I will get to later, but sadly you did not show the clip and had to take your word for it. Speaking of clips,
apparently the manager of the clown rental place thought Arthur was the best choice to entertain sick kids at a hospital.
I think I have some editing problems with posting clips while making this video. How do I know this? The sin count on the top left corner of the screen reads 121, nowhere past the 115 mark. So, in short, double check your videos before uploading so there aren't any more errors. And this is not the first time in this video that has happened. Also, to avoid any more confusion, I'm going to skip this clip and get back to it later since it needs to be addressed.
Kenny's music. The guy said you disappeared.
See, here's why Arthur should have called his boss to report his ass beating, so that he wouldn't be blamed for not promoting the company he was hired to promote. Instead, he told no one, and now he's going to get reprimanded.
Well, gee, Jeremy, thanks for telling us information that we, the audience, could also see. You know, because we're watching the movie too, and gathered that information all on our own.
He wasn't stating the obvious, nor was he just describing what was going on in the movie. He was criticizing an aspect of the movie. Earlier on the video, in a scene that he showed by the way, and I skipped, CinemaSins was talking about how it would be a better option for Arthur to let his boss know exactly what the hell happened. And at this point in the movie, he's confirming his point from earlier.
Two things. One, the Birdman knew about this already since he saw the movie as much as you did. If you go to his Did It Suck movie review of The Joker, it's pretty obvious that he understands everything that Arthur has went through. And two, are you referring to this clip that you said you skipped?
Also, who goes running after a large group of thieves over a cardboard sign? Is he desperate? Maybe. Is he stupid? I guess so. Most folks would just go back to the boss and say they got robbed. The movie needs him to get his ass beat, and so he does. But I'm not convinced he had a good reason to run after them into an alley.
We're talking about someone suffering from a mental illness, so much so, he imagines himself in blatantly fantastic situations. Thinking logically isn't exactly on the top of his agenda, I would think.
In other words, due to his mental state, he did not have time to think and use logic, and instead chased after them because they stole his sign. I thought for once you can put two and two together, but instead, again, we had to take your word for it without a clip or a timestamp, despite having the video in question in the description. Damn it, nah, I do feel like Charlie Brown. GG. Good going, not good grief.
Now this gives the impression that you weren't paying attention to the video, but were instead looking for as many problems as possible. Now I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and assume you weren't, but with a point like this, it's hard to believe otherwise.
And here's the reason why I am making this. You mentioned earlier that you're just going to, quote, address the problems with the Birdman's videos, and you said he was finding as many flaws as possible? For someone who used the Hypocracy card,
you're in no condition to call him a hypocrite, considering that you are one yourself.
You're the one to talk. The Birdman in real life does watch CinemaSins videos, and he actually does pay attention to them and critiques things that CinemaSins missed. You seem to forget and or miss the disclaimer at the beginning of all of his Everything Wrong with CinemaSins videos.
Yeah, that's the one. The one an innumerable amount of people seem to either disbelieve or outright ignore. Here's the thing, guys. The Birdman is a character that I play in the Everything Wrong with CinemaSins series. He's always been a character, and I've maintained that since the beginning. That series began as a parody of CinemaSins, and it remains one today. The idea was to use their style and format to do to them what they do to movies. The criticisms that I level against CinemaSins are, in fact, real criticism. I am simply delivering that criticism in a manner that is palatable. In other words, in order to criticize something that millions of people obviously love, you must use a medium that makes it easy to reach those people. My chosen medium was comedy, because for me, comedy makes everything easy to understand. So what I'm saying is, when I tell Jeremy he bangs his cousin, or when future Birdman eviscerates Jeremy with words, it's entirely to entertain you, the viewer. I do not hate CinemaSins. I do, in fact, love the channel. I've been questioned on this a lot, and people believe that because I criticize that channel, I must actually hate them. You should take away that disclaimer at the start. We don't like CinemaSins and don't think you do either. Stop with the disclaimer. Your fans hate everything wrong with, and we ain't sorry about it. The truth is, I like CinemaSins because they point out some things I would have otherwise missed. That is the value of that channel to me, and that is something I find extremely valuable. Debunking videos are something I really enjoy on YouTube, accurate or not. So if someone like CinemaSins attempts to point out the flaws in something a lot of people enjoy, I'm game. And if I get a laugh or two out of it, even better. I'm aware that my series kind of attracts people that actually hate CinemaSins, and that's fine. Who am I to tell people what to love or hate? But the thing that irks me is when they then project their feelings onto me. To them, I say this: people are allowed to like flawed things. I just so happen to like a flawed thing that I am also criticizing.
So if you truly believe he hates CinemaSins, then I say to you, why so serious? If CinemaSins is capable of finding problems with the movies on their video, then Birdman can find flaws in their videos and debunk them on what they missed. More of that later.
Don't you have to be funny to be a comedian?
Half the fan mail I get opens with this exact phrase.
And yet, CinemaSins continues to not get the message.
Okay, I'm gonna ignore the Birdman for a minute to address what CinemaSins said. What you are describing is not fan mail, it's hate mail. How the hell can you even confuse the two? It's so blatantly fucking obvious that this was hate mail.
That's the joke. You suck, McBain!
This is a great shot. This whole movie is full of great shots. Great acting, great set design. It's one of the most well-made movies I ever hated.
Jeremy sends something he hates cliche. Wait.
This is what happens when you make the same sins over and over again in your videos. Eventually, you will go insane and not know what the hell you're doing.
Looks like Blaze forgets there is a certain thing called comedy comes in threes.
Jeremy sends something he likes cliche. Jeremy sends something he likes cliche. Jeremy sends something he hates cliche. Wait.
And that's not just a common phrase from Rick and Morty either.
Apparently the manager of the clown rental place thought Arthur was the best choice to entertain sick kids at a hospital. This is a guy who has apparently gotten numerous complaints about his performance in the past, so sure, he was probably the best option.
He could have simply been the only clown available. Maybe the other clowns didn't want this gig. You don't have enough information to make the inferences you are. You really should have stuck to pointing out continuity errors, cousin, because film analysis is clearly not your bag.
I know I've asked this question before, but it's worth repeating, just no one has answered it yet. What the hell is the difference between how CinemaSins was when they started and how they are now? I actually did watch the old CinemaSins videos made between 2012 and 2013. And the only difference is that the videos are shorter. That is literally it, and there is no other difference. The old videos still have massive nitpicks, scenes that are clearly meant to be jokes, along with many other things that you can also find in the newer CinemaSins videos. So the times that CinemaSins, quote, used to be good, doesn't exist to me. So I don't see any difference.
In the context of watching the video a few times before making this video, I think the comments made by this guy sums up everything. CinemaSins, when they started, was intentional parodies of critics who made random nitpicks and jokes about scenes. These days, however, they chose to gloss over actual plot holes and stories for the sake of trying to make complaints about how obvious things don't make sense to them and blur the lines of what they consider jokes and what they consider actual critiques. Plus, I would also like to bring this to your attention.
Look, I don't normally say anything about this kind of continuity, but this tall woman in the background is walking toward John here, and when the movie cuts, she's on the other side of the hallway walking behind John here.
Okay, I'm taking issue with the fact that you said you don't usually take issue with this kind of continuity. This was the goddamn premise of your channel. You know, point out continuity errors and the like. You've gotten so far away from your original purpose that you don't even remember why you started.
Another perfect example of the differences between his past and present videos. Oh, FYI, the way you use your hand gestures to make quotations looks like you are pinching a fly, 2 pieces of candy, or using a scratch a sniff poster. It's actually with just these 2 fingers. Look at Dr. Evil. My bad, Riley wants me to bring this up. Speaking of bringing up things in your Everything Wrong with CinemaSins Joker video, which you skipped.
Wait,
Please. I love this job.
So wait, did the hospital call security or something and kick Arthur out? Has he been wandering the streets until it got dark to call his boss from a payphone? Or did his boss call him and this is the usual payphone he reaches him at?
Here's another piece of information that could have been used for the previous sin. Arthur clearly loves what he does. But no, you're stuck on him using a payphone. See what I mean?
Yeah, that would be helpful for you or Jeremy's point, since it went over both your heads.
Take 5.
So the next time you say gay to refer to something gay, don't. It's not cool.
Cut!
I'm sorry.
Joker definitely fires one shot into the first guy, 2 into the second, and 1 into the leg of the third. That's 4. Then when he catches him, he shoots a 5th time, then walks up to the guy and shoots 3 more times. That's 8 bullets. I just don't feel like that gun holds 8 bullets.
What you're failing to realize is that this is a very subtle nod at Arthur being an unreliable narrator. The end of the film reveals that the entire movie is him retelling these events to a psychiatrist, which means these elements are either him misremembering those events or embellishing them.
I mean, you aren't wrong, but the scene by the end of the movie is very easy to miss. Hell, I missed it myself the first time I watched the movie. Just by the time Bruce Wayne's parents were killed, I stopped caring about anything else in the movie, since most of the important events in it already happened.
I'll give you props, Blaze. You were right, somewhat. There's a key word here, unreliable narrator, meaning that the story with the death of Bruce Wayne's parents was true because one of the clowns shot him. Reminds me of the 1989 Batman movie, Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins movie, and the actual comics. But most of the elements that Arthur mentioned are made up or misremembering them due to his mental state that was brought up earlier, such as the relationship with Zazie Beetz' character Sophie. My suggestion, try watching Joker a few more times before doing your video thoughts to help you more and to further understand the full story. I managed to watch this myself on the HBO Max. Thank goodness for that app.
How do you make your not really a comic book movie stand out like it's high art and not some lowly movie we can't call cinema like Avengers Endgame?
And I'm gonna stop you right there. Subscribing to the stupid ideology that a comic book movie isn't art or cinema just because Martin Scorsese said so. You know, the guy that made essentially the same exact movie for 50 years.
This point right here is what made me want to respond to this video, since it is an incredibly dumb point. No, Martin Scorsese did not make essentially the same movie every time. Not even fucking close. Sure, they might share a few similar themes, but that doesn't make them essentially the same movie.
I agree with you on that statement as well, Blaze. However, when Birdman said the same movie, he meant aspects, styles, certain themes, techniques, and characteristics from the movie that he directed over 50 years, including one of my favorite ones, the remake of Cape Fear of 1991. I understand you have to rewatch The Wolf of Wall Street and Goodfellas to research. What all you can do is to take 5 to 30 seconds on Google to search for Martin Scorsese, just to find him on Wikipedia. Not only that, but here as well. I am not saying that research or rewatching movies is a bad thing. That's cool. But there are other ways to bring your point across without ending up spending hours when it takes less time and more effort searching on the internet. FYI, there is one thing. The Birdman has indeed watched The Wolf of Wall Street. If you've seen any of his videos such as Everything Wrong with CinemaSins Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, he does use references from that movie.
James Cameron saw the first 3 minutes of this film and had to excuse himself to change out of his premature ejaculation genes.
So this sin is for the fact that James Cameron took the deep sea Challenger down to the Mariana Trench. Does this have all to do with this movie, you ask?
Absolutely fucking not.
Row group, use your harpoons and tow cables. Go for the legs.
Why the hell do these small fighters have tow cables? For towing a 1974 Buick, and harpoons for, I guess, whaling?
Because T-47s were originally made for industrial cargo handling. They were modified by the rebels for use in battle. Does any of this matter for the context of the film?
Absolutely fucking not.
But these elements of the story are Return of the Jedi. They are what make the movie. You can do this with nearly any film if you want to be pedantic. The Wolf of Wall Street is a giant party movie until they catch his ass and force him to teach people how to sell a pin.
Also, I don't agree with Martin Scorsese 100%, but he still has a point. Comic book movies like Thor, Iron Man, and the Avengers are fun movies. I won't argue with that. But that's all they are by the end of the day. Fun movies. They're not important movies that you absolutely need to fucking see. You don't talk about movies like Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction, and Shawshank Redemption. If you miss out on those movies, you're missing out on some of the most important movies in movie history. Meanwhile, if you miss out on watching Iron Man and the Avengers, you aren't missing out on anything important. You're just missing out on a fun movie. There is a huge difference between an important movie and a fun movie.
Ignoring the fact that Scorsese says how comic book movies isn't art, which is just his opinion, subjective or not, it's funny how you brought up Pulp Fiction, Blaze. In fact, the Birdman has seen Pulp Fiction. Plus, it was also part of his Everything Wrong with CinemaSins series, where they did a review of that movie. There is one more thing I want to bring up. You've also missed the obvious joke again. It may have been for a split second, making it hard to pause at the right time, but still. And that's also further proof that Birdman does enjoy Scorsese's work.
My name is Colonel H. Motherfucking Th3Birdman, and this time I'm rolling deep, Nyoko.
Before I skip to the next part, I know I already mentioned this in the comments section of the video, so I thought I'd bring this up here. I will be playing the part where Blaze makes his interjection, and I will add in the part he did skip. Reason? Because that was the part of the running gag he missed. So basically I fixed it. Y'all can thank me later.
He is 100% blocking someone's view here.
I'm 99% sure that theaters do not build staircases so that if someone is standing on them, it blocks the screen for someone sitting. That extra 1% is because I'm a scientist and we don't do 100%. Scientist? What kind of scientist are you? A booty scientist. Bruh.
Yeah, I will give you that. That point by CinemaSins is very dumb.
How would it benefit for a mayoral candidate to show old Charlie Chaplin films? How does this in any way connect to your campaign for mayor? And if you tell me this is just a theater in the same building as the benefit, then I tell you that no theater randomly showing Charlie Chaplin films would sell out to predominantly old white men in tuxedos.
The movie the audience is watching is called Modern Times, a movie Todd Phllips drew inspiration from for this film. Both these films share a lot of thematic elements, and that's why it was included. The film in this film, that's mostly in Arthur's head, is foreshadowing the events in this film. Film.
I mean, you aren't wrong, but it would help if you gave some examples of the similarities between Joker and Modern Times. Now I understand that you don't want this video to be too long. In fact, you're trying to keep it at around the same length as CinemaSins video. But 1 till 3 examples wouldn't take so long. In fact, it would take a minute at most, not even that.
Or, I might be wrong here, but then again, I am still right about the government lying about 9/11. He didn't want to end up with copyright strikes on certain films and getting his channel demonetized. This is coming from the guy asking for clips of a certain film and not show them. But if you want to know about the foreshadowing of the two films, here's an article from Insider.com. Please feel free to pause the video at any time. If you are still confused, you can watch the movie Modern Times and Joker to discover the similarities. It's on YouTube under this link, even though the subtitle is Portuguese.
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Cringiest line a white guy said to a black guy since if it were legal I'd have voted for Obama for a 3rd term from Get Out.
Jeremy thinks white people don't say the word brother.
We've been hanging and banging, brother. 20,000 leagues under the sea is a nice place to deposit somebody, brother.
Interestingly, he also says nigger.
Before I continue, I just want to point out that the following word will be replaced with Lamar Davis from GTA 5 because of Granddad. You have been warned. And yes, I played the game with Riley too, don't quote me.
Okay, I totally understand why you don't want to use the N-word. Hell, I would never use the word in my videos myself. And I have used all swear words in the book. I used the word Cont in a lot of my videos. I've used the word faggot on several occasions. The same with cocksucker. But I would never use the N-word. But if you're against using that word, why use it censored? Wouldn't it make more sense to not use it at all? I get the point that you're trying to get across. I do. But you should have said, he also says the N-word. Then you wouldn't be censoring yourself.
I am about to get real controversial about Blaze's interjection, so strap yourselves in. Blaze, allow me to explain. He wasn't censoring himself before he hit the ding sound. He cut himself off before he said, nigga. There's a difference. If he was censoring himself, there would be a beep sound. In fact, in your video thoughts episode on his Star Wars episode 3, you said the exact same thing.
The outset that 2 of the 3 prequel movies would contain scenes of Obi-Wan swimming underwater. Would you have believed me? Because I don't think you would have.
Who gives a shit? Swimming isn't a sin. Unless you're swimming in...
Swimming in a pussy? How the hell does that even begin to make sense? I think that is the word that you're trying to censor. Maybe it's another word? But pussy is the only swear word I can think of that starts with P. So I don't know what the hell else you could be referring to.
Coincidentally, he did use the word nigga in his Everything Wrong with CinemaSins Zombieland Double Tap video.
Madison, because she's the best character in the film. And no, I'm not just saying that because I have this extremely unhealthy obsession with Zoe Deutsch. Even though I told her to call me in my review for this movie and she didn't, I understand she's busy, but you can't call a nigga back. She's one of the 10 people I follow on Twitter.
Not to mention, you do know the dude is black, right? Technically he's half black and half Asian. Plus, the running gag was Arthur calling a black man brother. For you wrestling fans, myself included, Hulk Hogan used the word brother in an off-camera remark involving Hogan's daughter Brooke's relationship. He said, nigga, unless she's seeing someone like Booker T.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Not only that, but when I addressed this question number 2 in regards to his sins counter 129, he made this response, not being mindful or pay attention to when Birdman was singing Granddad's favorite song, Gold Digger by Kanye West.
Now I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke nigga.
You could have made that same statement by saying, this wasn't the first time you tried to censor yourself. My question is this, why didn't you use that statement as part of your argument? Just saying.
Guys, this is the weirdest Purge movie I've ever seen.
Jeremy makes a pop culture reference.
Hold on, you've gotten on this case for being repetitive in some of your videos. Yet, use the sin. Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that this is the sin of the film cliche. In nearly every fucking response you make towards him. Sometimes even 3 times in the same video. Not only does it make you a hypocrite, but it also gets old after a while. I get it, CinemaSins makes a lot of media references. And if you don't find these funny, that's fine. But you don't have to say that in every single fucking video. How is this any less repetitive than when CinemaSins says 50 seconds of logos?
37 seconds of opening logos. Also, why isn't the Columbia girl holding a neuralizer so that she can erase the audience's memory that they paid to see this movie? 55 seconds of logos. 56 seconds of logos. 15 seconds of the Summit logo. 52 seconds of logos. 50 seconds of logos. 48 seconds of logos. 49 seconds of logos over static.
Honestly, it really is sin.
So we come to this pointless nitpick, huh? The part where the Birdman says Jeremy for making a pop culture reference. Allow me to go back to what I said about his cutoff gag, and thanks to TV Tropes for this info. On that note, I would like to bring this up. He either left a big sigh with the text is still on screen.
Yes, I will lead your army! Anything for Wanda!
Might even say, for Wanda forever.
Says it partially to the point that saying the whole thing is meaningless.
Then we hit the stragglers. What we do is we form a gauntlet.
Just FYI, the end of this movie is the silliest parts of Home Alone 2 and Robin Hood Prince of Thieves combined.
Jeremy makes a pop culture... You know the rest.
Or cuts himself off.
Holy shit, it's Blonde Miles from Lost.
Usually I would say, Jeremy makes a pop culture ref while cutting myself off humorously.
Allow me to demonstrate by using your word as the example.
Jeremy makes a pop culture.
Claiming that Birdman is getting on Jeremy's case for making pop culture references sounds to me like you were getting on Birdman's case on pointing out something that was meant to be funny and make people laugh. But there is one thing that even more repetitive and annoying other than the fact that Jeremy is talking about boners, ex-machinas, and cliches. This fake ass laugh.
Wow, he got to the train just as the doors were closing? Maybe this is a comic book movie. Everything that happens is so goddamn convenient.
I wonder what would happen if someone took a census of the word convenient in CinemaSins' videos. My bet is that it appears in 99% of all their videos. That would tell normal people that all movies contain convenient elements, but no, CinemaSins thinks they've stumbled upon El Dorado or some shit, and we're sadly looking at them like the broken record they are.
Broken record, you say? This is coming from the same guy who has to use the sin. Jeremy makes a popular several times in nearly every fucking response to CinemaSins. The irony of that statement is priceless.
Ignoring that statement, I would like to point out what you missed. Pay close attention to the sins counter at the top left corner of the screen. I brought that up in the comments as well. What is really ironic is about your statement, Blaze, is that this was a Pokemon reference due to the fact that the sin counter was supposed to be at 151.
My name is Colonel H. Motherfucking Th3Birdman, and this time I'm rolling deep, Nyoko.
Comedy is subjective, Murray. Isn't that what they say?
I have a bad feeling he's talking about CinemaSins.
No, he's not, because your comedy is objectively bad.
Okay, time out!
Whoa, what the is this asshole trying to play fucking pancake or something? Hold your horses, Riley. Let's hear him out first before doing anything rash. Let's hear what that bitch has to say before I go big smoke on his ass.
Don't find CinemaSins funny, that's fine. But you have no right to say that people are wrong for liking CinemaSins' style of humor.
Number one, yes, because there's still everything wrong with CinemaSins. And two, as I mentioned earlier, he's still a fan of CinemaSins out of character. In character, on the other hand, he wasn't. In character, he was making fun of CinemaSins in a humorous way, as evidenced by this video.
Mark Nutt asks, do you actually like CinemaSins? You sound genuinely angry. or annoyed when their videos really get stupid. Yes, I enjoy their channel. And guys, this is one of the biggest misunderstandings about me, is that I'm shitting on them, so I must hate them. Actually, I'm shitting on them so that they make a better product. All I'm trying to do is maybe help them a little bit, maybe a little bit of constructive criticism, although in a funny way. I'm not really talking to CinemaSins for the most part. I'm trying to make you laugh. I really don't care about their reaction to it. It's one of those things where, you know, I'm talking to you guys, and if I sound angry, it's for effect. Remember, I'm only playing a character here. If I was to really watch one of their videos, I'd probably be laughing.
But wait, it gets even dumber.
You've also downright mocked the fans of CinemaSins who found the jokes funny. Don't believe me? Here's proof.
Little known fact, this movie was originally about killer corn, and they decided to leave one with the scenes in.
So this is the comedy that everyone claims CinemaSins is supposed to be. How is this funny?
This movie is supposed to be about killer corn.
I would have removed all the sins if he had pulled out some other person from the corn. Like, this is the perfect time for a Matt Damon cameo. Sure, it would have ruined all the suspense, but Matt Damon!
Matt Damon?
You seriously have to cut that shit out, man. It doesn't make you look smarter, Adsy. It makes you look like a fucking moron. If you want people to understand where you're coming from, the last thing you should do is mock the fans.
First of all, that clip you shown wasn't him mocking the fans. It was him mocking Jeremy Scott's character, hence the purple text. It's him mocking CinemaSins. Secondly, if anyone, it would be mocking the fanboys of CinemaSins that take these jokes and his Everything Wrong with CinemaSins series seriously.
They put jokes right alongside with real critiques. Hello, math much?
So, here we are, CinemaSins fanboys. Your Lord and Savior has just admitted to putting real critiques in their videos, which is usually what I send them on. Which part of real critiques is satire again? Your fans told me that I was pretentious and a douchebag. It's almost as if those people don't realize I'm doing to CinemaSins what CinemaSins does to movies. It's almost as if those people that tried to claim you're satire and that I'm not don't actually know what satire is. It's almost as if this video isn't me sending CinemaSins at all and I'm actually saying fuck you to CinemaSins' fans. Bro, why you hating my mans? He not even thinking about you when he makes videos, not to mention you're making content off his content. Like, I guess what you're doing is fine and sorta interesting, but you don't have to be a condescending dick about it, bro. Uncalled for. Nope, it was definitely called for.
How can you send CinemaSins for dragging out their runtime when you are obviously doing the exact same thing except making it even longer? Jeez, man, you're so salty and jealous of their success, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I agree, it is hilarious.
No offense, doesn't that sound like the same argument towards Misanthropoint on his rant/response to Nostalgia Critic's Deadpool 2 video addressing the NC fans?
What exactly was the novelty of these fucking things in the first place? I seriously want to know. Why did any single one of Doug Walker's fans ever find these charming or endearing or creative or witty? Because after 5 years of these stupid things, I'm completely sick of it.
I have noticed that usually when people say, how can anyone like this? They don't actually care about the opinion of others. Because finding out how somebody can like something is very easy. All you have to do is to listen to their fucking reasons. Anyway, if you hate the Nostalgia Critic, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But in no way, shape or form is it acceptable to insult the fans. It's absolutely none of your concerns what other people like. It doesn't affect you one bit. So just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy and mind your own fucking business.
Man, I hate to break it to you, but that shit doesn't fly when it comes to Birdman doing comedy. Sorry, Madam and Jasmine. He's in the ponies. Did I mention that CinemaSins did watch and enjoy the Birdman's videos?
You want to stop pretending? I mean, your subs post my videos in your subreddit, you've admitted to watching my channel, hell, there are 140 mentions of my name just in this video's comment section alone. Compare that with your only 180 mentions on your own video, and I'd have to say, if you don't know that I am the name in refuting CinemaSins, your fans do. You want to stop pretending? I mean, your subs post my videos in your subreddit, you've admitted to watching my channel, you've admitted to watching my channel, you've admitted to watching my channel, you've admitted to watching my channel.
Also, that text where you said, there's no such thing as objectively bad comedy, Birdman. Yeah, you're not fooling anyone. It's only there as a damage control.
Wait, damage control? Ever heard of Self-Deprecation? Also part of his gimmick and running gag.
Seriously, with over 8 million subscribers, I have to question the intelligence of your fanbase. Hey, you refer to yourself as a fan of CinemaSins, dummy. I know, it's called Self-Deprecation, genius. Oh, is that why I sound like I got a pineapple shoved up my ass by Satan? Exactly.
Here's an example. the Hypocracy.
Colonel H. Stinkmeaner.
Give me this shit, little nigga. It's my story. Now, my boy, Lord Rufus Crab Miser, Lady Esmeralda Gripe Nasty, and Mr. George Christopherson met at the Better Pastures Retirement Home. Now, we hated each other right away, but we hated everyone else even more.
Everybody just yells and screams at each other. Nobody's civil anymore.
Facebook.
See what I mean? This joke would have been objectively better if he said Twitter.
No, it wouldn't. It would be subjectively better. Objective means that it can't be argued with. How about you look up the definition of the word objective, since this comment proves that you clearly don't know what that word even means.
Well, considering he does have a Twitter and Instagram account at th3Birdman15, and the fact that he has over 100,000 subs, I believe he knows what he meant. As for the definition, I'm pretty sure he knows the definition of objective and subjective. Genius.
Either way, it was a fucking joke, you cunts!
Every time I look down, I can finally see the largest python in the world.
Isn't it beautiful?
This ambulance is being driven by one of the insane clown posse, and it's going to be the Ex-Machina Joker needs to get out of this.
You want to know how I got these scars? Well, Jeremy kept misusing the term Deus Ex Machina. And I just went crazy.
Do you have to do this in every single fucking video?
The answer is simple, Blaze. Hell yeah. Oh! Riley, was that really necessary?
Now my biggest problem here isn't that you're a hypocrite, even though you are, should get on Jeremy's case for being repetitive. The bigger issue is that, my biggest issue is, I fucking get it, he abuses the term Ex-Machina. You don't have to point it out every single time he uses that term. Honestly, it has gotten very fucking annoying at this point.
Going back to the statement the Birdman made from Your Disclaimer Isn't True video, he said, making fun of CinemaSins by doing to them what they did to movies. Meaning whatever flaws they made, he has the right to point them out the same way CinemaSins does in their style. Sounds to me like you shared the same pain on this video as future Birdman.
The idea behind Birdman, the character, is that he was a fan of CinemaSins and has gotten progressively more and more frustrated with the channel, and inevitably turns into future Birdman, a guy that is obviously over CinemaSins and their bullshit. I drop subtle hints about this storyline all the time, most recently in my Dread video, that nobody watched.
Zooted dog.
Pointing things out on the screen, cliche. You'll notice that the color of the subtitles is orange here. Usually when Birdman is speaking, the subtitles are white. You'll also notice that his voice is slightly changed here. This all shows that Birdman is progressively turning into future Birdman, who almost always has red subtitles and a clearly tired voice. This is the joke. My character is a reaction to the Jeremy character, and therein lies the parody. Making fun of CinemaSins by doing to them what they do to movies. This doesn't at all invalidate the criticisms that CinemaSins oh so clearly deserves. I honestly believe that CinemaSins hides behind the shield of parody and satire when called out on their honest film criticism.
For those who are fans of Street Fighter or not, the Birdman is well known for using pics of Blanca from Street Fighter 2 on his Let's Talk and his Did It Suck series reviewing movies, as well as video games. He reminds me and everyone else of Neil deGrasse Tyson playing Blanca. This version of Blanca from Street Fighter 5 is portrayed as his future self. Hold up. After all that shit that Blades had been through and nitpick after nitpick as he gets tired of the Birdman, does this mean he might transcend into future Blades? Maybe.
Yo!
On a serious note, I'd like to bring up a few more things.
Deusilla Ex Machina.
A Deus Ex Machina is a plot device whereby a seemingly unsolvable problem in a story is suddenly and abruptly resolved by an unexpected and seemingly unlikely occurrence.
In short, he did misuse the term a lot, with the exception of the amulet scene. You could have argued about how the scene counts as an Ex Machina. All you did in the interjection was
bitch and moan, bitch and moan, bitch and gripe, gripe and moan. Bitch and gripe, bitch and moan, bitch and moan, bitch and gripe.
And leave it at that. Not to mention, you blatantly ignored how the Birdman did his best Heath Ledger Joker impression. This was the second time you used that clip. The first one was on Everything Wrong with CinemaSins Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Gwen Ex-Machina.
You want to know how I got these scars? Well, Jeremy kept misusing the term Deus Ex Machina. And I just went crazy.
Anything else you want to cover? Well, the only thing I can touch up on is his
overall thoughts.
Let's hear what he had to say.
I will be honest with you, despite my issues with this video, and I do have many issues, I don't think this video is downright bad. In fact, you haven't made a video yet which I think is downright bad. In all of the videos that you've made so far, there's more to like about them than there is to hate about them. Which is why I not only think that you're the best to criticize CinemaSins, you're still the only one who I don't think does a poor job at it. But you have become one of my favourite YouTubers. In fact, you now are on my recommended feed. But yeah, a lot of the issues that I stated with this video are still major issues. But despite my issues, I don't want you to change. I'm not here trying to control what you should and shouldn't do.
Hold up. Not trying to change what he does, not trying to control what he should or shouldn't do.
Do you have to do this in every single fucking video? You're in no condition to call him a hypocrite, considering that you are one yourself. You seriously have to cut that shit out, man. It doesn't make you look smarter, Archie. It makes you look like a fucking moron.
Bullshit.
Now who's playing the hypocrisy card? Sounds to me like you were trying to change him or control what he does. There is one piece of information I would like to add.
The problem I have with this, Sin, is that you're suggesting that this film wasn't intended to be a Joker movie from the beginning, which is a lie purported by the mainstream media because of their unwarranted hate boner for this film. Here is Todd Phillips pitching his vision for Joker way back in 2016, where he was getting pushback from WB executives. Might want to stop attempting to play to the woke Twitter crowd, Jeremy, because they almost never know what the fuck they're talking about.
And the very end of the video.
Why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. No, you complete me.
Despite the fact that I made some harsh criticism in this video, I still enjoy your videos for the most part. You are the only person who makes videos on CinemaSins, which makes videos which I rewatch constantly and never get tired of it.
Despite the fact that the Birdman had collaborated with JXE while doing his rendition of Everything Wrong with Star Wars: The Revenge of the Sith. With that out of the way, time to go to my final thoughts. To be fair, I indeed like this video. You praise it for pointing out flaws that CinemaSins made, and you praise the Birdman for being the only person to do so, despite the fact that Bob Viz and Sean debunked them as well. And I still enjoy the Birdman and JXE's content. I have to be honest here, there were a few problems I had with this that I already went over so I don't sound too repetitive. One of them was you misunderstanding the things he said on this video, and any of his jokes in your interjection, and you took the joke too literal or at face value. You know what you sign up for when you watch the Birdman's videos on YouTube for the first time since your video thoughts on Atlanta, which I'll get to in a later video. Expect there to be jokes and not to be taken literally. His Everything Wrong With series is the same style, humor, nitpicks, and comedy as CinemaSins, except he's debunking Jeremy in character. This is like watching episodes of Nostalgia Critic when he posts fun of movies. Not to mention the way you edit your videos, it seems like you're rushing to get this uploaded while making points and not bother to double check what needs to be fixed and what needs to be deleted. Short version or TLD dub, check your stuff. Allow me to give you yet another example. And I will replay the clip that I actually skipped in regular speed as well as slow speed.
You're not gonna call me a fan-tart, aren't you?
He is 100% blocking someone's view here.
I'm 99% sure that theaters do not build staircases so that if someone is standing on them, it blocks the screen for someone sitting.
You're not gonna call me a fan-tart, aren't you?
He is 100% blocking someone's view here.
You're not gonna call me a fan-tart, aren't you?
He is 100% blocking someone's view here.
As you can tell from this video, I actually had to set on super slow-mo, and from what I can tell, the ding sounds like if Jeremy was padding the sin count. Bro, not to mention, there was another clip during your next interjection that I actually noticed, otherwise known as video residue. Now, it's my understanding that you use Sony Vegas Movie Studio Platinum, but for me, I was actually using Sony Vegas Pro 14. And there is a way you can actually cut the footages out in multi-video clips before you're doing your interjections. And this is the reason why you should actually pay attention to certain situations in the video, especially when I say about the beginning. So I hope you do a lot better in your future videos, especially in your video thoughts episodes. And with that, that is all. I did get a laugh out the Birdman's videos from time to time. I came across his channel from his take on CinemaSins' Get Out. From there, I had to look through all of his old and new vids apart from his Let's Plays. That's my advice. Rewatch all of his Everything Wrong with CinemaSins videos, past and present, include Blade Runner 2049, which started the series. I recommend the remastered version since it shows more context. Another recommendation would be his Did It Suck series, as well as his video called Your Disclaimer Isn't True. His Let's Talk with his comparison between Joker and Thanos. And to go even further, this 2-hour video from J-Lon Bose's reaction to CinemaSins' Joker. The links to those videos are in the description. One more thing, instead of the Birdman's response, you should consider renaming the title Video Thoughts, the Birdman's Everything Wrong with CinemaSins movie title. Because to be honest, he's parodying CinemaSins, not just responding to him. What do you think, Riley? Damn! You had a lot to work with, Huey. I know, I had to put off the Atlanta one for another time just for this. At least now you get to work on that Atlanta you promised Jasmine. Yeah, I guess. It can't be as bad as you say it, can it?
3 hours later.
Aw, man, this is some old bullshit.
Riley, where you going? I'm going to bring on Twitter and IG and get this Icelandic ass a piece of my mind. Anyway, before Riley goes full big smoke on Blaze's ass, I had to end this video here. Until the next video, just remember, Jesus was black, Ronald Reagan was the devil, and so is Trump, and the government lied about 9/11.